Morning everybody, welcome along. Third test ride of the morning before we head back to get the Vogue out of the lockup and go and do a video on that. This is the Lexmoto Isca 125 in black. So Isca and Assault, very similar bikes. The Lexmoto Isca has the indicators on the side. The Assault is more a style of a motocrosser and has the indicators in the end of the fins, but both are brilliant bikes, both exactly the same end, and they both ride absolutely beautiful. And you've got them bronzed engine covers on your display. Main one in the centre is your fuel tank, speed, mileage, gear indicator, rev counter, and then your standard controls: start button, kill button, horn, indicators, lights. At the back of that is your hazard light. There is no pass switch to the back. It's a hazard light switch, side stand and main stand, and the bike will not start if the side stand is down. Mile on the bike, which was mileage to get here. We're going to go out, and we've moved locations. So we've done the last two down at the garden centre. We've just come out of RB Bridge, as they say, and we're going to have a little ride around Simpson. Now, over the speed bumps. Suspension is very, very good on this. Gear changes are nice and easy to use. All the clutch has been set up, and bar position very good. Great view off the mirrors as well. Set all the mirrors up. So, all set for a test ride, and it is drizzly this morning. Wet roads, new tyres. Take your time. So, with any new bike, first 20 to 50 miles. Take your time on the tyres. They are not bedded in, and wet roads will cause you an issue. So, going through corners, bring the speed right the way down and roll through the corners really, really slowly. Take your time until the tyres are bedded in. Better to go slow and safe than to push it and drop yourself off, but roll through that gearbox absolutely perfectly. So, great little bike to use. And we are going to go some slightly different routes today. So, we're going to go down here, round the corner, and the car park's busy today. So we're going to go down Simpson, down past the factories, and then we're going to have a little bit of around town mileage. Make it nice and easy to do. And while we're here, we'll take in the sights of Old Simpson, as it was known. And there's some great little lanes down here. Loads of car parks. You can go and walk your dogs and just go and see all the wildlife. Noddy nod. Car park there I would not use, especially after 8 PM at night. Yeah, there is a lot of it going on in Milton Keynes at the moment. It's like, yes, we went to have a look at little green lane course. I went out with my neighbour Ben the other day. He said, I found some great green lane, and we went up this lane and there was a load of cars parked with all the headlights and interior. I'm like, turn round, I know what is going on up there, let's turn round and go back. And but I found some nice little green lanes to go, and I have joined what's called, I think it's called TRF, 50 something quid a year. You get a little sticker, membership, and you get to have all the local byways maps sent to you, so you can go off green laning, which is what I intend to do. That's what I got Rocky for, to go off, find some real old back green lanes and just see how good my tyres really are. So I'm looking forward to doing that, but I will be doing that on my own, not with Kath on the back. She doesn't like being unseated. Now, a couple of quick things. I've got a Tiger coming in later for an MOT, and customer said to me, he said, I'm looking at different tyres. Yeah, okay. And what tyres do you suggest? I said, well, there are a few that you can use for the Tiger. Now, a lot of people, and that may be a GS owner or a multi-strada person, or you just want road touring, but you've got an adventure bike and you just want to stay on the roads. Pirelli Road 6. Michelin Road 6. Get it right, RB, come on. Michelin Road 6. Very, very good tyre. The Road 6s are brilliant tyres, really grippy and great for potholes everywhere, long distance commuting, and they stick to the road like glue. So I said, you've got the choice of them. Personally, I like the Metzeler Torrences. I had road tyres on Rocky for a little while, and the Torrences, you could really corner the bike around. And they're good for sort of bit of touring, long distance mileage, and they will cope with the gravel. So the Torrences will cope with light gravel and a little bit of a loose surface. Never had a problem with that. But obviously, if you're going to be doing a lot of green lanes and running around doing that sort of thing, then I would suggest that you switch up and put Dunlop Trail Max Raids on. They're a 50-50 knobbly. They're great for loose surfaces, great on gravel, great on grass. They handle the road well, but if you're doing long distance mileage, the bike rides very, very hard, and you can feel every bump and judder and pothole, but it eats potholes for breakfast if you've got the Trail Max Raid. So personal choice, I like the Raids, because obviously I use a lot of dual sport stuff now, getting off-road with everything. Another Uber. So they are my personal choice. That's the three I've given him. So I said to him, when you come in, have a look at my Raids that I've got on my bike, and they do look very aggressive, but they're good on a long ride. Kath doesn't mind them, but they are a little bit hard on the back of the bike, so she gets a harder ride now, so I've had to soften the suspension up a little bit for her, which is a bit softer than when I had the Torrences on. But it takes you a while to set your suspension up and actually find what is your best setting. Right, we are going to go into town. We've got 3 miles on the bike. We're going to have a wander around, and we're going to have a run around Bletchley. And it's 9:57. I have 30 minutes to ride until my first MOT of the day comes in, which is going to be Gareth and his big Tiger. So that is going to be fun. And then with a bit of luck, we shall get out on the Vosges 500 and do a little bit of a demo and a walk around and a video of it. And the Vosges 500 AC is now discontinued, but this one's a lovely one, and the parts are still available. But if you're thinking of a 125 Isca, Assault, if you want the upright ones, Tempest GT is a good bike to use as well. ZSB, absolute perfect bike, cheap as chips, and it goes all day, and the ZSB is a lovely bike, so that's quite a good one. If you're into your sports bikes, then LXR, LXS, and of course the flagship LXR and the SE version that's got that TFT screen on it. That is a bit of kit, and we've sold one of those this week, so watch out for me taking that one out in the next couple of weeks. Now, I am being pestered by people for what's coming out from Lexmoto. There are about 4 or 5 new bikes coming, but I can't say what they are. Obviously, I am sworn to secrecy, and anybody mentioning what bike it is will get a slap on the wrist and could lose their dealership. So you're not allowed to mention new models before the release date, but there are some new models coming. Watch this space. And I was speaking to Paris at Lexmoto yesterday. I said, can you confirm that we've got this motocross bike coming? Can't confirm or deny it. And I went, no, I know that, but he's getting the first one, the lucky devil, so he's going to have it as a demo bike to ride around for a few days, and then hopefully I will get it, because I'm dying to get out on this bike and see what it's like and give it a proper review and ride test. And I promise I won't rip it apart if it's not that good. Thank you very much. So, taking in the sights of old Bletchley. Let's come in on the combined brake on the back wheel, because it's wet, it works. And the one thing you do get with the Iscas, sometimes when they come from the factory, the back brake don't work, which is just a quick thing where they've been in the crate, they just need a quick brake bleed, and this needed a tiny little one. I wasn't happy with the amount of braking that I was getting, so we've tightened it up, done a little bleed, but look, it pulls down lovely on that back brake. And the back brake's good, but it's not going to stop you. As I say, 90% of your brake force comes off of your front wheel, so try and use the front to stop yourself if you can. And this one, look at that, pulls down lovely. But nice steady low gear as well, and it pulls through the low gear, so I'm in fourth just chugging along. But you can build them revs up. Let's drop down to third. Right, coming up shortly in a minute is the roadworks. We've got to get around those, and huge great stream of traffic probably. But the best thing about one of these, you can filter or scoot around the road bumps. And oh look, they've made it one way now. That's handy. Well done, and quick thinking by the repairmen. And he's gone and parked his van on someone's drive on the grass. That was nice of them. And Water-Eaton Road is closed for approximately 2 weeks. Well, I don't see any workmen anywhere. Not a single workman in sight. Loads of cones, barriers, and God knows what, and people having to slide past at junctions, but not a single workman in sight. And somewhere in my pocket I can hear a 10 o'clock alarm going off. That will have to stay going off because I am riding. And then while we're doing that, we'll go this way, down here, down to the bottom, down the dual carriageway, back to the garage. And hello mummy, wave to mummy. Mummy lives down there at the back of the vets. This is the bit where we now take in the wonderful old part of Bletchley. Now, 1980s, they built this new estate, which was meant to be prefab and only last about 30 years. It's still standing. It's still standing. It's called the Lakes Estate. And it had a reputation in the 80s and the 90s for being all the scumbags lived here. Well, it weren't that bad because I lived here. Yes, I used to have a house on here as well, and it weren't a bad estate. You had the odd parts of the estate that you didn't go on to after 10 o'clock, especially Serpentine Court. But let me clean the camera. Oh, I'm picking up a load of water spray from him in front. Lovely. And he had a bit of a reputation, but it's a nice estate. And most of it, when old Maggie Thatcher was in the 80s and you could buy your council home, those that had been here for years and years all decided to buy, and you could buy one of those for about £8,000. Yeah. Back then you got your council discount for how many years you'd been with the council, and it's all capped and done now. But you could pick up one of these for about £8,000. Absolute travesty. Poor people can't have their own council house now because obviously everybody's bought them and there's no more social housing available. Was it a good thing or a bad thing? I do not know. I haven't bought mine yet, but I'd rather rent than buy, because you're only going to leave it to someone, and I ain't leaving anything to anybody when I go. Right, let's get out of the way of this lorry, get my foot down and go. Noddy nod, Uber. He's like, would you nod to me? I nod to anybody. I'm like Churchill. Oh God, look at that horrible rain. And you can just imagine, fifth gear, there we go. You can see how low the rain is sitting on the hill. Now just imagine, right in that tree line is my house, so we that's why we suffer the extremes of weather. Let's wipe the camera. So the part of the village where we are 300 foot above sea level, or 187 foot above Milton Keynes. We are the highest point in Buckinghamshire. And And someone said to me the other day, he said, oh, you live near Woburn Golf Course. Have you ever played golf? And I went, no, don't. I said, but I drink in the golf club. If you can afford £9.60 for a small glass of wine. Large glass of wine will cost you 15 quid. Want a pint of beer? £7.60p. Forget that idea. I'm going to Wetherspoons where it's like £1.20. So it is a little bit posh and a little bit pricey up there. 7 miles on the bike. And we are flying along. 40 mile an hour. 10:06. I will make it back in time for my MOT, hopefully. And I can get to have a cup of coffee and a cigarette then as well, because I haven't had my coffee for the day yet. Had a Red Bull though. Does just the same job. Ooh, grass in the road. Scourge of a motorcyclist. Don't want that. Down through the box we go. Marvellous. So, the new houses. This used to be loads and loads of fields down here. And they got rid of all the fields and put houses on it. The only thing is they didn't tell the planning people is that is the floodplain for the River Ouse. So God help them if the river should flood, which it normally does about 4 times a year when they get heavy rain. So if you bought a house there, God help you. I hope you have good insurance. But everyone's got these solar panels. Oh, let me sit a solar panel on my roof and I can save on my energy costs. Go green. And the other thing is obviously just down here, bottom of my hill where the village is, we have Hunter's Farm Shop. Johnny Hunter's Farm Shop. Know Johnny very well. And we have a Shell and a McDonald's. And I was filling up with fuel last night and I said to him, what's the little white signs that you've got slapped all over the garage? Oh, that's court injunctions. And I went, what, against you? He said, no, against Go Save Oil or Go Green or Just Stop Oil people. And I went, what's that all about? He said, well, at the moment they're targeting Shell and they're coming into all the garages, chaining themselves to the petrol pumps and spraying the petrol pumps with fluorescent orange paint. And I went, oh. So basically now, if you go in the garage and cause any harm, disruption to the pump, staff or the premises, you will get hauled off to prison and it's a £5,000 fine. And can't see that. I recycle. My bike runs on recycled dinosaurs. Yes, it does. It runs on petrol, which is recycled dinosaurs. So I'm doing my bit for the planet. I'm using recycled dinosaurs. Uber in front then. At least he's obeying the speed limit. And he hasn't done what RB does and leave the indicator on all the time. I know, terrible. I'm so used to the Triumph Tiger self-cancelling, and it's like, oh God, I've got to relearn indicators again now. But he's on his little 125 scooter. He's obviously delivering his McDonald's to someone. I wonder if it's for us. It'd be funny if he pulls on our yard and he's delivering our McDonald's. Because Bex did say that she would get breakfast this morning. Pink Punters, love that club. If you want to go to a nightclub in Milton Keynes, go to Pink Punters. It's great fun in there. 4 different floors of different music. Top floor, if you like, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and all Ollie Murs and all the puppy stuff. They've got a rock room in there now, and they've also got drum bass room. The rock room's very good because they play a lot of Foo Fighters. Thank you very much. And of course, Secret Pleasures. That's where my next door neighbour works. Less said the better about that one. That's for another video. So 8 miles on the bike. We've racked up all the mileage. I am headed back for a cup of coffee. I've finished waffling on now about what I do, and people go, I'm going to stop waffling on my videos, I'm just going to ride a bike. No, we love hearing you waffle on because we sit and listen to the entire video to hear what you're waffling about. All right. Well, once I start talking, most people know I won't stop. So yeah, that is me. That's one of our customers. That's Rian coming in to collect his LXR that's just been serviced. But we are back on the forecourt. Taylor is currently, you'll love this, Taylor is doing an engine rebuild on a Mr. Whippy van. Oh, that's hilarious. We got so I get a free ice cream while I'm working. Right, we're going to put the Isca away back in the showroom, guys. So we're back in the workshop. MOT bay and bike bay is just down there, and that's our little showroom inside. We're done on the Isca. Test ride is all good, and fine neutral RB. So whatever you're doing this week, have yourself a good one. Be well, ride safe, and as always, it's a big goodbye from me.